Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next-level tactics. From off-site and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
Welcome back to another episode of the SEO.co podcast. Today, we're going to continue the series following a link building guide for growing organic startup traffic. Today, we're going to talk about websites and landing pages as destinations. Once your brand story is developed, your next biggest concern should be where your readers are going to go once they've read about you in a media piece. Surely, you'll receive some referral traffic, but how you handle that referral traffic can make or break its value. For most startups, this will be your main website, but you might also create specific landing pages as destinations or target specific internal pages. In any case, your design and copy need to be tight. They need to accurately portray your brand for an unfamiliar public and appeal to them with new angles and extended descriptions. Remember that your media coverage will likely only skim the surface of who you are and what you do. You'll also need to focus your conversion strategy, which is going to help you turn these barely familiar web visitors into leads or customers. For this, you'll either need to point your visitors in the right direction of your products or services pages through the use of your web design, or else present them with sign-up opportunities throughout the site. Run some A/B tests to optimize your conversion efforts before you start seeking media coverage. Otherwise, that traffic could go to waste. Alternative destinations. It's also worth noting that a dedicated website isn't the only place you can funnel media traffic, especially as a new startup. For example, let's say SMB Sam is working on a new type of beverage to bring his usual coffee drinkers, but he needs capital to be able to fund it. He creates a page on Kickstarter to attract donations. Clearly, there's an incentive to get people to his website, but for the moment, what he really needs is more donors. This makes his crowdfunding campaign page a higher priority. Crowdfunding pages aren't the only alternative destinations you can consider. For example, you might also funnel people from your media outlets to your social media profiles, or an example of your work somewhere else. A company blog. Before you get involved in any media interactions, you should have a blog in place on your website, complete with many posts that show off your thought leadership and expertise. There are three main reasons for this. Authority and establishment. First, your blog is going to be one of the first places a prospective journalist will look when surveying your brand for potential coverage. Here, they'll form an impression of your authority, credibility, and how long you've been around. If you don't have a blog, or if it's empty or full of weak content, your brand may come off as amateurish, compromising your chances of getting covered. Visitor retention and conversions. A strong company blog is also important for keeping new web visitors interested and moving them closer to a conversion. Again, this is an effort to maximize the value of each new visitor you earn through your media relations. Cooperative potential. Finally, there's the potential to interlink your on-site content strategy with your off-site media development efforts. Without a blog foundation, this becomes considerably more difficult, and we're going to talk more about this in a future episode. Starting a blog demands a heavy upfront investment, as it's not something you can gloss over, but it's worth it if you want your media campaign to make a bigger impact. For help starting or feeding a blog, see our own article on our own blog outlining how to promote your online content for maximum impact. Personal brands. You'll also want to consider creating or utilizing a personal brand rather than just a corporate brand when trying to promote your business. Essentially, a personal brand works just like a corporate brand, except for you as an entrepreneur. You'll create an identity standard for yourself, build recognition and popularity, then reap the benefits by using your personal brand to also promote your company. There are a handful of advantages here for media relations. First, people tend to like stories about other people more than stories about brands or companies. As the leader of your startup, you'll serve as a figurehead for your company, representing both the business and the personal side of things. You'll have an easier time working with journalists since you'll be able to form a more personal connection, and you'll seem less self-promotional since corporate branding takes on a secondary role. It's also worth noting that any media exposure you get as a personal brand will last you longer than your startup, extending beyond the context of any one business. If you plan on starting multiple businesses, including perhaps starting your own SEO business, this is crucial. Take a look at how Elon Musk has developed his own personal brand. He has his own section on popular mechanics as well as entrepreneur.com, and his name is recognized by more than any of his individual companies. You probably won't achieve this level of fame, but your benefits will be similar. Thanks again for joining us on the SEO.co podcast, and tune in next time for the next episode in this series, as we dive into social media followings.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.